The rain fell softly against the hospital window as Ethan stared at the unread message on his phone. I miss you. 2 simple words. 2 years too late. His trembling fingers hovered over the screen, but he couldn't reply. Not because he didn't want to, but because sometimes love dies long before goodbye arrives. And sometimes silence becomes the cruelest ending of all. 5 years earlier, Ethan met Lily at a small bookstore hidden between crowded streets in Boston. She was sitting on the floor near the poetry section, flipping through an old novel while humming softly to herself. Ethan wasn't looking for love that day. He was looking for escape. His father had just passed away, and the weight of grief sat heavily on his chest. The world felt empty, colorless, numb. Then Lily looked up and smiled. It was the kind of smile that made broken people believe healing existed. You're standing on my favorite book, she laughed gently. Ethan stepped back quickly. Sorry. She picked up the novel and held it close. You should read it. It destroys your heart in the best way. That sounds terrible. That's what love does. He should have known then. Their relationship didn't begin dramatically. No fireworks. No movie-like confession. Just late-night conversations, shared coffee cups, and long walks through quiet streets while the city slept around them. Lily talked too much when she was nervous. Ethan barely talked at all. Yet somehow, they fit together perfectly. She brought life into his silence. He gave peace to her chaos. Every Sunday morning, they visited the same cafe near the river. Lily always ordered caramel coffee with extra cream, and Ethan pretended to hate sweet drinks before stealing sips from hers. You're impossible, she'd whisper. You love me anyway. I really do. And she did. With everything she had. One winter night, Lily dragged Ethan onto the rooftop of her apartment building to watch the first snowfall. You know what scares me? She asked softly. What? One day we'll stop talking. Ethan frowned. Why would that happen? Because people change. Feelings change. Life changes. He wrapped his coat around her shoulders. Not us. Lily looked at him with sad eyes, as if she already knew something he didn't. Promise me, she whispered. What? If we ever fall apart, don't let silence destroy us. Ethan kissed her forehead. I promise. Promises are beautiful when they're made, but devastating when they're broken. The first crack in their love appeared quietly, like glass splitting beneath pressure. Ethan got accepted into a prestigious architecture firm in Chicago. It was the opportunity he had dreamed about for years. Lily was happy for him. Or at least she tried to be. When do you leave? She asked. 3 weeks. Her smile faded slightly. That soon? It's only temporary. How temporary? I don't know. Silence. That was the beginning. Long distance changed them slowly. At first, they called every night. Then every other night. Then only when convenient. Ethan buried himself in work, chasing success, exhausted from endless deadlines and sleepless nights. Lily stayed in Boston, working at a local art gallery, pretending she wasn't lonely. She missed him constantly, but she never wanted to sound needy. So instead of saying, I need you, she said, I'm fine. And Ethan believed her. That was their tragedy. Neither of them said what truly mattered. One evening, Lily called Ethan crying quietly. Can we talk? I'm in a meeting right now. It'll only take a minute. I'll call you later, okay? Okay. He never called back. Not because he didn't care. Because he forgot. And sometimes forgetting hurts more than cruelty. Days later, Ethan received a package from Lily. Inside was a small glass jar filled with folded paper stars. A note rested on top. 1 star for every reason I love you. Ethan smiled sadly as he opened one. You make me feel safe. Another. You listened to my silence. Another. You loved me when I forgot how to love myself. By the 100th star, Ethan was crying. But instead of calling her, he placed the jar carefully on a shelf and returned to work. He thought there would be more time. There's never as much time as we think. Months passed. The distance between them became more emotional than physical. Their conversations turned cold. Short. Empty. How was your day? Fine. Did you eat? Yeah. I miss you. Miss you too. Words without feeling. Love without presence. A relationship surviving only out of habit. Then came the night everything broke. Lily waited for Ethan on a video call for 3 hours. It was their anniversary. Candles melted beside her untouched dinner. Her makeup had faded from crying. At 1:17 a.m., Ethan finally texted. Sorry. Busy day. That was all. No apology. No explanation. Nothing. Lily stared at the screen while tears rolled silently down her face. Then she typed, I don't think you love me anymore. Ethan read the message immediately, but he didn't know what to say. So he said nothing, and silence answered for him. After that night, Lily stopped calling first, stopped sending long paragraphs, stopped sharing random moments from her day. Ethan noticed. But pride is a dangerous thing. He waited for her to reach out. She waited for him to care enough to try. Neither moved. And slowly, the love that once felt endless began to die quietly between unread messages and unsent apologies. Not prettier. Not worse. Just tired. Like someone who had cried too long. Hey, Ethan whispered. Hey. The silence between them felt unbearable. I miss you, he finally said. Lily smiled weakly. Now you do. The words cut deeper than anger ever could. They spent the evening walking through the city where they once fell in love. Same streets. Same river. Same cafe. But nothing felt the same anymore. At one point, Lily stopped walking. Do you know what hurts the most? She asked. Ethan swallowed hard. What? You never fought for me. I'm here now. But you weren't there when I needed you. He had no answer. Because she was right. That night, they sat together in silence inside her apartment. The kind of silence filled with endings. Lily rested her head against the window. I used to think you were my forever, she whispered. Tears filled her eyes. No, Ethan. People who love you don't make you feel alone. He reached for her hand. She pulled away gently. And somehow, that hurt more than screaming ever could. A week later, Lily ended things officially. No dramatic fight. No betrayal. Just exhaustion. I can't keep loving someone who stopped showing up, she said quietly. Ethan felt his chest collapse. I never stopped loving you. That's the problem, Lily whispered through tears. You loved me silently. And silent love isn't enough. After the breakup, Ethan's world became painfully empty. He threw himself into work again, pretending success could replace heartbreak. But every achievement felt meaningless without Lily beside him. He missed the little things most. Her sleepy voice in the mornings. The way she danced while cooking. The random voice notes she used to send at 2 a.m. The sound of her laughter echoing through his apartment. Love doesn't disappear after goodbye. It lingers. In memories. In habits. In silence. Meanwhile, Lily tried to move on. She smiled more around friends, posted happier photos online, started painting again. But late at night, she still reread Ethan's old messages, still listened to saved voice recordings, still loved him in places she couldn't erase. Some heartbreaks never fully heal. They just become quieter. 1 year later, Ethan saw Lily again by accident. She was standing outside the bookstore where they first met. For a moment, time stopped. She looked up slowly. Their eyes met. And suddenly every buried feeling returned at once. "Hi," she whispered. "Hi." God, he missed her voice. They talked for hours that day. About life. About work. About everything except the truth. Neither mentioned the heartbreak still living between them. Until Lily finally asked softly, "Were you happy after me?" Ethan laughed bitterly. "No." Her eyes watered instantly. "Me neither." Rain began pouring as they stood outside the bookstore. Neither moved. Neither wanted to say goodbye again. Ethan stepped closer carefully. "I still love you." Lily closed her eyes. "Don't do that. It's true. You had your chance." "I know." His voice cracked painfully. "I know, Lily." She looked at him with tears slipping down her cheeks. "You broke my heart so quietly," she whispered. "That's what made it worse." Ethan felt tears blur his vision. "If I could go back, I'd choose you every time. But you didn't choose me when it mattered." Silence. Again. Always silence. Lily reached into her bag and handed him something. The old glass jar of paper stars. "You left this at my apartment." Ethan held it carefully like something sacred. "You kept it." "I tried throwing it away. And I couldn't." His heart shattered all over again. One paper star slipped from the jar and landed near Ethan's feet. He unfolded it slowly. Inside, Lily had written, "I'm afraid he'll stop loving me one day." The note was dated 3 years earlier. Before the distance. Before the silence. Before everything fell apart. Ethan broke down crying right there in the rain. Because deep down, she had always known. "I'm sorry," he whispered repeatedly. "For all of it." Lily cried too. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just quietly. The way people cry when pain has lived inside them too long. "I needed you," she whispered. "I know. You stopped reaching for me. I was stupid. You were distant. I was scared." "Of what?" Ethan looked at her helplessly. "Losing you." Lily let out a heartbreaking laugh. "And that fear became the reason you did." The rain soaked through their clothes, but neither cared. Years of unsaid emotions finally poured out between them. Ethan stepped forward carefully. "I never stopped loving you." Lily looked at him for a long moment, then whispered the saddest words he had ever heard. "I wish love had been enough." Sometimes love survives distance. Sometimes it survives pain. But sometimes love dies not because two people stopped caring, but because they stopped communicating. And silence slowly destroyed what their hearts still wanted to save. A month after seeing Lily again, Ethan received another message. This time it wasn't from her number. It was from Lily's friend, Sophie. "Lily moved to Paris yesterday." His chest tightened instantly. Below the text was one final message Lily had asked Sophie to send. "Tell Ethan I'll always love him. But some stories are meant to stay unfinished." Ethan stared at the screen for hours, then finally cried the tears he had held back for years. Months later, Ethan returned to the bookstore alone. He walked to the poetry section where they first met. And there, hidden inside an old novel, He found a folded note in Lily's handwriting. Maybe she had left it years ago. Maybe fate waited until now for him to see it. His hands trembled as he unfolded it. It read, "If we ever become strangers again, please remember this. You were the greatest love I ever knew, even when you stopped speaking it." Ethan closed his eyes as tears rolled silently down his face. The bookstore remained quiet around him. No dramatic music. No final embrace. Just silence. The same silence that once destroyed them. The same silence that now held the ghost of their love forever. And for the first time in years, Ethan finally understood. Some people don't lose love because feelings fade. They lose it because they wait too long to say what truly matters. And by the time the words finally come, the person who needed to hear them is already gone.